Hello guys, welcome back. In the previous episode, we have been looking into setting roles and services to a user, but it's time for us to create a new role for ourselves. So you could create a custom roles in the system, so using this kind of API. So we're gonna build that API today actually. So if you look into our database schema here, so you could see a role name is assigned with a priority here. So the priority here we are maintaining going to help us to decide whether a user can do something or not. Like for example, if you take administrator, can be overriding the below roles, like he could override moderator, user, contributor, whoever they are. Administrator can override them just because he has the highest priority than those people. For example, on this side, if you take author, he could override contributor and user, and but he cannot override editor. So it's like a priority base. Similarly, so if you give a permission to author to create roles, he could create roles such that they could override only the user and contributor but not the author again. So we're going to create such kind of stuff today. Okay, so author cannot give the same role the author to another person, so we have to make sure that happens all the time. Okay, so in the previous APIs, we haven't concentrated on that. So in this AP episode, actually, I just wanted to make sure it just works. So before we get into that, I just created a new method here in the authorize file, so which is called get priority. So this simple method, it's just going to get the priority, the maximum priority of the user. It just initially checks for the session. If session exists, we'll just check the user's roles. Okay, so maybe assign different roles. I'll get every single role the user is assigned with. Once I get every single role, what I do is I'll going to check the priority of the roles. Whichever is having the max priority, I'll be considering that priority as the user's priority, because always it's important to consider the maximum instead of the minimum. Okay, so that's what this simple if conditions do. Okay, so I just want to go through more of that. So yep, that's done. When the priority is done, I'll just save the priority in a session, in my session variable. Okay, so initially I'm just making sure the priority is 0, so in case if there is no role assigned to the user, his priority will be set to 0. Now where do I call this function? I'm calling that get priority function right after the login. Okay, so when the user has made a call for the login, I'll be calling get priority function so that I could know the priority of that user. So that's how it works. Okay, so in this episode, creating roles, right? So I just already created a little bit of template here. So a create role API here, so which is a calling method called create role and passing the post body, and it's getting the response. Okay, next coming to our authorize here, I just created a snippet. Okay, I'll just open that. I'll just minimize these stuffs. Okay, it doesn't want to mess up with this. Yep, this is good. Yeah, so create role, it's just a simple snippet. First initial I'll be checking for the session, and I'll be making sure these are the parameters I need. One is the role name. So user, I mean the person who is about to create a role in the system need to send name for the role. Okay, and the next priority of the role, and then the service that is need to be assigned to the roles. Okay, so minimum I'm expecting that it should be an array of services, so I'm expecting that if that isn't good, I'll be sending that incorrect details, and then prior information is not good. Okay, so now let's get started. Okay, the first thing we have to make sure is there is no such role in the database. Okay, so if you check the structure here in the database, role name is the unique one. Okay, so you cannot actually duplicate the roles. Even the role IDs are automatic, it doesn't matter, but I just want to make sure that role names are always unique in my database. Okay, so before actually one thing I just left out is that you cannot actually create services, guys. Okay, so maybe the people are expecting there will be next episode of creating services. No, it doesn't going to be. Okay, services cannot be created because these are like inbuilt thing. Okay, these are the logics actually, so you cannot create dynamically, but roles can be created dynamically and mapped to the services. Okay, so I just want to make sure that. So now, so we are going to use two different tables in this episode. One is the roles and the other one is role underscore service underscore map. Okay, the first thing I need to make sure is there is no such role and name in my database. Okay, so let me write a query for that. The query here is anyway, so it doesn't matter, so we need not check anyway, because the user should be making sure that there is no such thing. So or else we could also do that. Okay, let me try for that. Result equal to dollar this. So what am I doing? Okay, so dollar this, and we'll be going through the DB here, and DB should be concentrating on read simple R. So we already wrote that function. Let me check. Yeah. So we already had a read simple R, which is going to take a table, a column names, and different types of where column and where columns. Okay, so where and where column values. These should be an array. Okay, so I had to make sure these are arrays kind. So yeah, let's go. So R of, so I need to make sure to read from my roles table. First, initially I had to make sure that user is about to create the role which isn't existing in my actual table. Okay, so for that I'll just make a query like this role, and I need just one, so it doesn't need anything out of it. Okay, so first thing I need to check here is uh, I need to pass two things. One is array of, the first thing is role underscore name, and the other one is the priority. Okay, so yeah, so another array is it's gonna consist of the priorities values and role value. Okay, so I'm gonna get this stuff from here. A semicolon. Yep. So in case of query error, so we have to handle that. So I just already got that, so I doesn't want to write the code all the time, so I'll just get that. Okay, just paste it here now. So in case if there is a query, like if I'll just write if else. Okay, else if dollar result of length it's greater than 0. So in case I get more than one row as a result, it's simple guys, it's really simple. Just return. Yep, so we need to return actually we not check the priority here, so it's not, just read simple, and it's not required to be an array here. So I just overthinking here, so we just need to check only for the name actually. So role priorities isn't that doesn't gonna matter here anymore. Yeah, that should look fine. So we are only checking for the duplication of the role name. Yeah, so actually priority isn't not big deal. So multiple users can have same priority. It doesn't multiple roles with the same priority actually can exist in the database the system, so it's not a deal. So if the length is greater than 0, I'll say provide, I'll say role already exists. I'll say role exist. So yeah, so in case the role exists, I'll send the report as role exists. So if the role doesn't exist, so what we have to do is we simply gonna insert a record of this role name come priority, and then insert the services. Okay, so let me write a simple insert query, I mean insert method, insert call we had. So result equal to dollar this, and we're gonna call the insert simple here, and which is gonna take the same stuff from here. Okay, so first we're going to interact with the block, the like the columns we're going to put is role name and priority. Okay, and here we're gonna put two different stuff for here. One is role name. So another one is the role priority. Okay, so which is been sent by the user over here. Okay, so that's a simple one right there. So in case if I get any kind of an error, so we need to handle that error, right? So I'll just copy this role error stuff from here and put it here. Yeah. So now in case error, I'll show that there is an error in the putting the value, or else it is a successful write. So we just inserted the record of the priority. So now we could actually get the role ID of it. Okay, we could actually read that. So I'll just read the role ID from here. Role underscore ID. So names cannot be duplicated, so I'll get exactly the role ID if the session is successful. So I'll just put $ID result 0 of role underscore ID. Okay, yep. So now we got the role ID, so we could actually insert services that we have here into the database. Okay, so it's just like I'm expecting the services to be the numbers instead of the service names. Okay, so it will be like in this database here. So we'll be inserting the new records which will be mapped with the role ID and the service IDs. Blah. Yeah. So I'll just use a for loop here for I equal to 0, semicolon I is less than dollar I is less than count of dollar request of service. Okay, and I'll just close the loop dollar I plus plus. So now I'll go through the loop. Okay, so I'll go through each service. So we'll use the insert symbol here just like this one. Yeah, first let me complete the query here. Okay, so we are using this table here, so let me copy the table name and we'll use the table. So we'll be inserting that one here, so with the role ID and the service ID. Okay, so the values that are to be inserted are, one is the ID. Okay, so we could directly use that here, $ID. Okay, already saved that in a local variable here, so we already saved that role ID here, so we could pass that. And coming to this one, the services, we have to copy this, actually doesn't it, services of 0 actually it's $I. So what other services are passed, it will be passed to that. So in case of error, I will not return, in shall say just continue, because it's the client side error, so I doesn't care. So whatever it is, once the role is created, the service is mapped or doesn't mapped, it doesn't matter right now. Only thing is we have created successfully the role. So services, if they doesn't map, the user can map them later. Okay, so let's use the postman and create that. Okay, so I'll say it's a slash create role, and the API is also the same, create role, and the body, so it's not username, I'll pass the role underscore name, which is so it's right now I'll just create like comment underscore mod. Okay, so the services I need them, and priority it's need to be like 25. Okay, since right now I may be logged with admin, so let's try this. So provided information it's not good, so something in here wrong. So actually it's role underscore priority. I just checked it. Yeah, so save and send. So now you could see it just work like that. So it's sending me the data which is having the ID. So the ID of this present role is 8 and the role name is comment underscore mod and the services assigned to it are 3 and 4. Okay, so let's go and refresh the table. So you could see two more records inserted which is mapping to the role ID 8. So you could see the two records, and if you go to roles you could see a new role called comment underscore mod inserted with the priority 25. So you could also see the date when it is been inserted. Okay, so that's it for this episode, guys. So we just created a create role method, so it works perfectly fine. So it's an API, so just through the routes. Okay, so maybe in the next episode we'll be going through a different one, so I'll be talking that in the next coming episode. I want to show you what I'm going to talk in the next episode. So yeah, that's it. Bye bye, peace out.